Welcome back to the SUSINDPRO project. This video is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to summarize the rest of the chapters. Chapter 7 to 12. We're starting with Chapter 7, Industry and Economy. Now, how would industry and economy work? People would have a piece of property where they can, within reason, produce and do what they want. The essential labor will be divided between the citizens. For instance, growing food, wood, clothes, doctors, etc. Basically, the jobs will be divided. There will be a workshop building which keeps all necessary tools and machines for producing items. And this workshop can be used by anyone to produce what they need. And there will be a storage hall for all essential items, and the personal items have to be stored on their own property. And money will indirectly exist in form of credit points, a tit-for-tat principle, so to speak. Chapter 8, Security. Now, how to protect people inside of the community. A small police department will be built where people take turns guarding the region of the border region of the community and the community itself. That is, for instance, for if someone tries to enter the community without permission, or someone doesn't obey the rules, or if there's a dangerous stray animal, or if someone just generally needs help. And as mentioned, only inhabitants and chosen people can enter the community. Now, how would one protect the community from outside influence? Now, this is going to be a very hard problem. It's not obvious at all what to do there. If outside government has a problem with the community, there's pretty much not much people can do except maybe attempt diplomacy. The community's main goal might have to be to not attract too much bad attention, and there will be a small military gear provided and with basic training if there is going to be an emergency situation. Chapter 9, Healthcare. How would a healthcare system work? Now, first of all, everyone will get free healthcare. Every hospital will have a general care in a specific field. It will focus on individualized care, and it will focus on health to reduce illness probability, for instance, through healthy food, exercise, things like that. There will be regular psychological checkups for the community inhabitants. Community will take care of each other. And everybody should know advanced first aid, for instance, in the case of an emergency, like a natural disaster or something. And so generally everyone can help each other. There will also be research centers in the communities. They will have different specializations, and the researchers will stay in contact and work with each other and meet up at times to compare their research, maybe work together on a bigger project. Chapter 10, Community. How will the community look like? There will be around 150 inhabitants per village. This is a rounded number. Enough people to sustain a functional but still intimate community. Everybody's going to have to work. Otherwise, the community will most likely not stay intact, and the workload will roughly be split up evenly. If you, for instance, are physically disabled, you can teach or work as a therapist or a planner. Basically, there will be work for everybody. Workers will switch professions from time to time to develop a broad range of skills. There will be a very strong focus on community building, for instance, bonding courses, festivals, etc. Decisions will be made with a direct democracy approach, where there will be regular meetings and discussions before there will be a final vote on the decisions. For instance, every weekend on Friday evening. There will be much focus on getting along and working together. People will not necessarily have to like each other, but they will have to learn to tolerate and work with each other. Another focus will be conflict resolution and conflict prevention. Much demand will be put on the citizens' self-responsibility and to others. Also, the ground rules of the community have to be followed, and there will be an extreme focus on truthful communication, so manipulation and lies can be minimized since they are going to be counterproductive. There will be roughly the same amount of focus put on the community as a whole, as well as every individual on their own. Also, boasting and wealth signaling should be greatly discouraged. There will be different professions in the community. If you have 150 inhabitants, about 4 to 8 should become electricians, 4 to 8 should become plumbers and mechanics, 8 to 10 should become construction workers, 8 to 10 teachers, 4 to 6 psychologists, 2 to 5 or 4 doctors, 5 to 6 nurses, 4 to 6 researchers, 20 to 30 expert farmers and foresters, 20 to 30 workshop experts, for instance carpenting, woodwork, metalwork, glasswork, tailoring, etc. 8 to 10 guards, firefighters and first responders, and 6 to 8 representatives and planners. The laws will firstly be similar to Western laws. They will be written down, but if one breaks them, they get convicted accordingly. Depending on the severity, either restricted access to utilities and community favors will follow, or extra labor, exiling, or extradition to the nearest police station. Sometimes the convicted may choose the penalty, for instance extra labor or restrictions, but if the sentence is too high, you might have to exile them or give them to the next police station. And some rules will be constant and others will be fluid. Chapter 11. Education. What focus would the education hold? There will be 30 to 35 hours school per week at maximum. There will be a lot of focus on ground-up learning rather than specific areas. There will be focus on self-development and character building rather than generic testing. Apprenticeship will start at 15 years old, and students will learn at least one trade. How would the school curriculum look like? There will be a focus on general skills, for instance cooking, construction, writing, math, biology, computer science, history, etc. And 2 specific skills, forestry and construction, for instance, psychology and medicine, or teaching and planning for the village, and focus on psychological skills, for instance work at life management, conflict resolution, psychological self-help, etc. For instance, the lesson for a 12-year-old might look like this: Monday 6 hours general skills, Tuesday 5 hours specific skills and 1 hour psychology, Wednesday 5 hours general skills and 1 hour psychology, Thursday 6 hours specific skills, and Friday 6 hours psychology. But those will vary. Now to the last chapter, chapter 12, how to start. What do you need to start such a community? You will need about 150 participants. That can be less, it can be a little more, but roughly around 150 will do it. You will need about $2 million to $5 million dollars to buy property and to buy starting equipment. You will obviously also need governmental approval, and you will need a lot of courage because it's going to be hard and very complicated work. This concludes the alpha version of the SUSINDPRO project. I hope I was able to give you, dear listener, a basic framework for what to potentially pay attention to if you're planning on starting your own community, or at least I hope you found this small presentation interesting and took away something valuable for yourself. Please feel free to dissect, use, add to, and share this project as you wish. The point of this project is to further everybody's knowledge and spark interest in the topic of sustainable community building. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my small presentation.